Welcome to the 8th grade Math Homework Helper Series. Tonight's homework is AA-8, Parallel Lines and Transversals. Once again, we've got some new vocabulary. A transversal is a line that crosses two or more lines and forms at least 8 angles. And alternate interior angles. Alternate interior angles are congruent on opposite sides of the transversal and inside the parallel lines. Alternate exterior angles. Alternate exterior angles are congruent on opposite sides of the transversal and outside the parallel lines. And corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are on the same side of the transversal and are congruent when the transversal crosses parallel lines. We'll start by taking a look at question number 1, and I'm going to do letters B, D, F, H, and I. And it says in the diagram, line IK is parallel to line HL. And if we look back at the diagram, we can see that. IK, HL, they're both parallel to each other. And GJ is a transversal. So this line right here is cutting those two parallel lines. The measure of angle GEL, which is right here, is 72 degrees. Find the measure of each angle and then name the type of angle pairs. So the first one we have is GEL, and I'll put a dot there so we can recognize that. GEL and HED. And HED is right here. So if we look, we can see we have vertical angles, and if GEL is 72 degrees, we know vertical angles are equal. So this also has to be 72 degrees. The next pair of angles we have are IDJ, which is right over here, and HEJ, which is right here. And we can tell they're both on the same side of the transversal line, so that tells me that they are corresponding. And we know because these lines are parallel and this line is maintaining the same angle, whatever the amount is for this, the same value is going to be for this. And since we know from before that this is 72 degrees, this also has to be 72 degrees. So it's 72 degrees, and they are corresponding angles, both on the same side of the transversal. Okay, the next two angles we have are LEG, which is right over here, and IDJ, which is right over here. And we can see that these are both on the outside of the parallel lines. So they're exterior and they're alternate. So we have alternate exterior angles. And again, because this is breaking through parallel lines, whatever it does to the top line, it's going to do to the bottom line. So these are going to both be 72 again. The next two angles that we're looking at are DEH, that's right here, and EDK, which is right here. And these are on the inside of the parallel lines, or the interior of the parallel lines. And so these would be alternate interior angles. And we already know the value of this, and since these are alternate interior, they're going to be the same. So we're looking at 72 once again. Move those up. And the last one we're going to take a look at, I. We have angle LED, which is right here. LED, this space right here, and HEG. So we have vertical angles, they're opposite one another, and in order to be able to tell what the degrees are for these, we need to think about this as a supplementary angle. So 72 plus DEL is going to give us 180 degrees. And so with that in mind, we can see that this is 108 degrees, and since they're vertical angles, they both have to be 108. Now we're going to move on to question number 4. State if the type of angle pairs are congruent or not congruent. Using the figure below, name 2 pairs of angles for each given type. And there are many more than just 2 pairs. So I'm going to give you 2 examples for each one. For supplementary angles, I've got angle G and angle V. G and V. Together they make 180. And I've got angle B and angle C on the other side of that. Again, together they make 180. Now, supplementary angles can't be congruent. Well, in this case, they're not congruent. They could be if they were both 90, but the angle of this line prevents that from happening. So these 2 are not going to be congruent to each other. Vertical angles. Again, there are numerous ones. I've got angle B and angle V. See, they're opposite each other. And I've got angle Z and angle M down here. You could also do EH. You could also do CG. So there are lots of them. And they would be congruent. Alternate exterior angles. So they're going to be outside of these parallel lines. And I've got angle G and angle M. G is on the outside, M is on the outside. They're opposite each other. And I've got angle V and angle E, also on the outside, exterior, and they're opposite each other. Corresponding angles. So I've got angle G and angle Z. G and Z. Corresponding angles are on the same side of the transverse, so they're both on this side, G and Z. And also C and M on this side, C and M. And lastly, and they would be congruent as well. Lastly, we have alternate interior, so these are going to be inside these parallel lines. And we have Z and C, and we have B and H. And again, these all would be congruent to one another. Please use the problems that were done for you tonight to help you to solve the additional problems that are on your homework. Remember, the key to success in math is not only working hard, but working smart.